My name's Richard, and I'll be conducting the sales webinar today. I'm just going to place everyone on mute, just to prevent any distraction, background noises. So if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to type them in the chat box, and I'll address them as soon as I see them. So to get started with the sales end of things in Wireless Standard, what you'll be doing is first logging in with your username and password. And then you'll be prompted, if you have the permissions to log into certain store locations, you'll be prompted to click the drop down and log into whichever location you're currently working at. So to get started with the sales side of Wireless Standard, you'll first open the register. So to do this, you're going to click POS, this dollar symbol on the top left. And then notice you'll see that the register is closed. And to open the register, you're simply going to click Open POS here. Now when you click Open POS, it will give you a system count. And this number is what currently should be in the drawer. Now if you're first starting and you're opening the register and you don't have anything currently in the drawer and you want to make a note and put let the system know that you have, say, $200 to start, you could do so here in the manual account, or you could type in that 200 in the float adjustment. So the difference between the float adjustment and the manual account, the float adjustment is money that you are going to open with day to day. So you're always going to open up with that same amount of money. You can always put it in this float adjustment area. If your money will change that you're opening with, you can make a note of it here in manual account. So say it's 100 tomorrow, 90 the following day. You can always make a note of how much you're opening with in the manual account. But as far as the float adjustment, it would always be day to day the same amount of money. And then we're simply going to click OK, and that will open the register. Now we do have many different integrations, and we're going to cover how they work on today's call. The first topic I'd like to cover are the two main ways to go about making a sale in Wireless Standard. So the first way would be to use this quick sale functionality down below here. So with this feature, you can actually scan a product or do a keyword search of a product, and it will bring you right to the sales screen where you can complete a sale. This feature doesn't require you to capture the customer information, whereas the customer sale requires you to capture the customer information and create a customer account. If you want to start off by, say, creating a customer in Wireless Standard, you can click Customer Sale here. And then you can choose an existing customer by searching for their last name, mobile number. Or you can create a new customer if you click here, New Customer. And then the required fields would be first name here, last name, and then mobile number here. So let's do an example. Again, all the other fields are optional. It's totally up to you if you'd like to input this other information. If you have a contact that is already input into your system, it will allow you to create a new one of the same contact or update that contact information. You can either highlight it and click update or just click add new, and that will successfully create your customer account. So here, notice now that our account is created, we can see it on the top right here, our customer name, and we're in the shopping cart area. So this is where we can search for items on the top left. You could scan products in. You could do a keyword search. Say we're looking for an accessory item such as a case. We could type in case and then enter. And then you can kind of hover over and see the full name of the product and double click whichever case you're going to sell to the customer. But you can also scan the UPC and it should automatically populate as a line item in your shopping cart. And you can also type in the product ID of the product as you get more familiar with wireless standard. So notice I clicked the iPhone 5 case, and here it is, and we have a total of $48.88 with tax. Now we can always search for more items on the top left, and they'll just populate as line items down below, and then it will tally up everything on the bottom, including the tax. So to process a normal sale, we'll cover how to do an activation or bill payment momentarily. You're simply going to click the green on the bottom right, checkout, and then you're going to be placed to this accept payment screen. So this is where you're going to tell the system how you're collecting the payment, whether it be cash or credit. So here, notice there's $48.88 is due. Now let's say the customer gave you a $50 bill. You could type that in the cash field, and it will give you the due change back to the customer. You can also split the tender, so you could do half cash, half card if you'd like. For this example, let's say we'll do everything on a credit card. So say the customer gives us a credit card to run the $48.88. So we'll just type in $48.88 here. Now if you're integrated with our A1 Charge merchant service, this information will pull from the card. And now notice we have no due balance, and we can click OK. And then it's just going to ask us whether it's a credit or debit card. We'll select credit. Again, it will ask us to verify the last four of the card, and then the card type, whether it be Visa, Master, and so on. So to process this, I'm simply going to click OK here. Now this is going to process it in wireless standard, and then it's also going to prompt you to print a customer receipt. By default, the receipt will be set to your small thermal printer. If you want to send it anywhere else to any other kind of printer in your store, you can click Print Options here, and then simply click Printer on the left. Now for today's demo, I'm going to actually show you what the receipt would look like if you printed to, say, a normal computer-sized printer. And here, as you can see, we can send it to whichever printer we'd like. And here's a preview I'll enlarge this for you. And notice we have our store template, receipt information on the top left of our location. We have the transaction ID number, which is essentially the receipt number. Now this will appear as a barcode on the small thermal printer, printed receipts. We have the sales date and time, the user that created the sale, and the location the sale was tendered at. Now here we actually have the customer's name. If you did create a customer, it should appear on the receipt. If you did it through the quick sale feature, it will just say no customer selected here. And we have all of our items that were sold on this transaction. And the method of payment. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to write down this transaction ID number. So this way I can show everyone how to do a simple return or exchange. And just give me 1 second. Okay, so getting back to our point of sale and our return and exchange process. So what you can do to do a return exchange, you don't have to have the receipt to do one, but it does help in identifying the transaction if you have the receipt number. So you're simply going to click returns on the right here in red, and then you can click return with receipt. Even if you don't have the receipt, you can still click return with receipt. And then basically what you're going to do is you're going to look up the receipt number. Now if you have it in front of you, you can click this second tab, select by receipt number, and then you can actually scan the barcode here on the receipt or just simply type in the receipt number. If you don't have it, you can always do a date range as well as location. So if you know, say it was at the Brooklyn location and it was placed last weekend at some point, we can search for all of our transactions this way. And then you can highlight a transaction. You can see everything that was sold on that transaction down below. So let's do the example of the iPhone case that we just sold. So let's say a customer comes back, they want to return or exchange. You can simply click select by receipt number, and you can type in that receipt number or scan. And here's our customer name that we created, and the transaction ID, and all the items that were sold on this transaction down below. So what you're going to do is simply click the checkbox on the left of all the items that you want to return or exchange for the customer, and then click OK down below. And now notice this item is placed into a return screen and the item is in red and it says -1. So right now it's saying that we owe the customer with the tax the $48.88. So there are two ways to go about this. You can either refund the customer their money on a credit card or by cash. And to do this, you simply click the green on the bottom right. And then type in the method you're refunding them. So it would be printed on the receipt. So if you're going to give them cash, you could type it in here and that would zero out the balance. Or you could refund their card and you can make note of it by typing in the amount here. And then you're going to print the receipt. Now keep in mind, when you complete this transaction, this item is going to be placed back in your inventory for you automatically. So there's no need to re-input it into your inventory. Now to do a return or exchange, what you're going to do is simply search for a new item here. It could be any item, and it will simply be exchanged for the one that's being returned, and all of this will be printed on the receipt, and any due balance will be noted down below here. So here we have the same case. Let's say the customer didn't like the color, so they wanted to swap it out for a different color. This is how it would look. So you'd have one -1 and one +1, and then you're simply going to check them out. There's no due balance. Now keep in mind as well, when you're checking customers out, if there's any coupons or discounts that have been created by the administrator, you will see them here, and it's up to you as the sales rep to actually apply the discount to the product. So say there's a 10% off discount, it would be up to you to click it, and then it would apply, and it would give the discount. And again, the item that was being exchanged will go back into your inventory for you automatically when you complete the transaction. Now getting back to the point of sale, I'd like to cover how our integrations work. You can access the Metro ASAP portal here or the boost activation button here, and they both work very similarly. So what you can do, just to let you know, you can access them from here, or if you're on the sales screen because you were selling a customer an accessory item and now all of a sudden the customer wants to activate a phone or make a bill payment, you can simply click this add item button here, and then you'll have access to all of your integration buttons. So the way it works, as far as the Metro and Boost, what you'll be doing is you'll click the Metro ASAP or Boost button. It's going to bring you to the portal that you guys usually go to activate the Metro phones or the Boost phones. You're just going to sign in like you normally would, make the full activation, and then keep in mind when you're on the account overview page is where you're going to click this download activation to POS button here. And what this is going to do, it's going to take all the information that you completed within the portal, and it's going to bring it back into Wireless Standard. So just so I don't confuse anyone, I'm actually going to pause the screen for a moment, and I'm going to bring up the activation screen and exactly what it's going to look like after you click this download activation to POS button. And this works both with Boost and Metro dealers. Just give me one moment here. Okay, thank you everyone for your patience. So getting back to the activation process, after you click that download to POS button, whether you're in the Boost portal or the Metro portal, you're going to see this screen pop up. And like I said, everything will carry over into this screen based on what you did in the portal. And that's kind of the beauty of the integration. It'll state whether it was a Metro or Boost carrier here. It will give you the service plan that you selected in the portal. It will also give you the contract type, whether it was an activation or a port-in or an upgrade. It will always say 0 for prepaid contracts. Any plan description will populate here, as well as the phone serial number that you activated will pull from your inventory module, the model of the phone, and the phone serial number. I'm sorry, the phone, the actual customer's new phone number will appear here. Now, if any plan options were selected in the portal, if you click plan options, this second tab, they'll be checked off for you based on what you selected in the portal. Whether it be insurance, call forwarding, whatever options you selected, these will automatically be checked off for you. So really the only thing you need to do is just verify this information, make sure it looks correct as to what you did in the portal. And then when you're done, you're simply going to click process down below here. And now notice everything gets carried right in your shopping cart for the customer. So this first line is simply stating the customer's plan information and the phone that was activated. So notice we have the $30 plan was selected. Here's the customer's new number, and here was a plan option the customer selected. So that's why it's not really charging anything here, because this is just giving the customer information as to what plan they selected and their new mobile number. The next line item, this is the phone that was activated, the model of the phone and the price, as well as the serial number of the phone. Now you can always discount this item, right here if you'd like, or if you have, like I said, if your administrator created discounts on the next page, you'll see discounts appear here that you can discount the phone. Any kind of special promotions, they should show up here as buttons for you. So now, to make the first month's bill payment, or to make any bill payment for that matter, what you'll be doing, again, you'll click Add Item here, and you can either click the ePay button or the QPay button for bill payments. Now, let's say, like I said, they work very similarly. So you click the button, and it'll put you into the portal where you usually log in. What you're going to do is you're going to log in like you normally would, and then you're going to make the payment. And again, on the confirmation page, you will see a small button at the top that says Download to POS, and you're simply going to click that button, and it's going to carry the payment right into your shopping cart. And I'll show you exactly what it will look like. It will say QPay bill payment and the amount that was paid. And for those of you who are Boost dealers, it'll be the exact same process, only it will say ePay, bill payment, and then the amount that was paid. And again, when you're ready to check the customer out, you can simply click the green, apply any discounts that you would like. You can pick and choose which discounts you can give the customer. And then you're going to click, again, make payment in green, and either collect the cash or the card. Let's say customer paid with $300. Here's our due change back. We'll click OK, and we'll print the customer receipt. And here's the customer receipt, including all the activation details, the phone that was activated, and then 2 bill payments, as well as our accessory item. So moving on, I would like to show you a little bit about this operations button here. So if you click operations, what you can do is you can either drop more cash into the drawer, or you can take cash out of the drawer, depending on what you want to do. So let's say for drop cash, this would be placing more money into the drawer. Simply click drop cash, and then type in the amount that you want to put into the drawer. So say you're adding another $100 to the drawer, we're just going to make a note of that. To take money out of the drawer during the shift, say put into the safe, or for whatever reason, again, it's operations, and then pick up cash. And then you could just type in the amount that you're taking out, and it should give you the cash amount that's within the drawer. If you ever want to pay money onto a customer account, this is similar to a layaway process. So you would take money, a customer walks in and they give you $50 that they want to use at a later time. What you would do is click operations, and then you would click accept payment here. You would search for an existing customer or create a new one. And then you would simply collect the money that they're giving to put on their account, either by cash or credit. So let's say they gave you $50 in cash to put on their account. And this will be noted on the customer receipt. So now Mark Johnson has this $50 balance. So let's say the customer comes in the next time and they want to apply that balance. What we can do is click customer sale, and we can search for Mark Johnson, double click, and now notice on the top right they have a $50 balance here. And you can apply that balance to any items, whether it be activations, phone sales, bill payments, accessories. All you're going to do is ring out the customer their item, give any discount, and then type in the amount of money that's due in the store account field here. And that will zero out the balance. And it will be noted on the customer receipt that this was done with the money that was put on the account. So the next time you open up the customer's account, you'll see that the money has been deducted. So now notice on the top right, Mark has $1.12 left. So that's how our account payments on account feature works. So moving on, I'd like to show everyone how to close the register at the end of the day or at the end of the shift. And now this is really important because you want to match up everything the system says you should have on hand versus everything you actually count out. So to do this, you're simply going to click close register here. And you're going to have these two columns, manual count and system count. So the system says we should have $420.73 in cash. So what the employees will be doing, you'll be clicking the green dollar symbol, and then you're going to put in the cash count. And this is denomination count, so For instance, say we had 4 $100 bills, 120, and so on. And now we have our 420.73. So these two numbers match, and our variance is 0 because these two numbers match. Now, if there's ever discrepancy and for some reason these two numbers are not matching, you'll see a number in the variance, and that's how off you'll be. So to get to the bottom of it, you can simply click the link in the system count, and it will show you exactly where this money came from. And here are the transactions that were made, and this is where this money came from. Now keep in mind, it's not going to count the initial starting money that you left in the till, either from the previous day or the manual count. This is all going to be counted throughout the system based on what was performed that shift or that day. Now the float will be subtracted from your total cash count, and that'll be your total cash deposit for the day. Again, we're going to do the same thing in the credit card field. So this says we should have processed $48.88. You can just verify that on your terminal, and then you can just simply type it in the manual count to reconcile. We did do a store account payment, so we're gonna reconcile that as well. And then we're going to click OK, and that will close our register for the day. It's going to prompt us to print a Z report. That's just your standard end of the day report. It will include all of the accessories, sales, activations, bill payments. Now if you click OK, it will print right out to your thermal printer. I'm going to click cancel and show you where you can view it on the screen if you'd like. So what you can do is click lookup here on the top right, and then click Z report. And you can do a simple date filter. So say, it's going to default on the first of the month, but let's say we want to go to today's date, and we want to select our Brooklyn location. It will default on all locations. And then click submit, and here's our Z report. It'll give us a snapshot of our close, who opened and closed the register, the date and times, as well as all accessory sales, activations, bill payments, and phone sales. You can print right from here if you'd like. If you use this icon, you could also save and export to an Excel file, or a PDF file, or a Word file as well. Now the next topic I'd like to cover is if you ever want to reprint a customer receipt or look up a transaction. So what you can do is you can click sales on the top left here, and then you can go down to sales log viewer. And this is an area where you can filter out by location as well as date, and then click search, and it will give you all the transactions that were performed at that location on that date range. Notice records, it says 4, so we did a total of 4 transactions on this date. And to reprint any one of these receipts, we simply would highlight the receipt and click print preview on the top left. And notice down below will give you all of the items that were sold on that transaction. PRD is for product, ACT is for activation. And we also have the payment. Now, the next topic I'd like to cover would be included in our online reporting module. To access it, you're simply going to click reporting here, and this will automatically log you in to our online reporting. Now, these three boxes serve as a quick preview. So if there's ever a report you like on the left, you can drag it into one of these areas, and it will save as and serve as a quick preview for the next time you log in. So just keep that in mind. To access any reports, you're simply going to click Reports on the left here, and then you're going to scroll down and you'll see all the different categories of reports you can run. So for today, we're going to cover some sales reports that you can run. So you're simply going to click Sales category, and then you're going to go in and click whichever report you'd like to run. The main report I go over with my clients on this training is the Sales Transaction Details report here. So what you're going to do is click it, and then you'll basically filter out these parameters based on what you want to see within your report. So report date, we have a month to date. We could do yesterday, today, the last 3 days, and so on. You could even do a custom date range here, where you can filter out whichever date range you'd like. GP by, this is either by transaction date or service date. Now this is most likely if you're being very particular as to when you activated the phone versus when you actually sold the phone. If there's any kind of discrepancy, you can either go off the service date of when it was activated or the transaction date of when it was sold. I recommend just leaving it on transaction date. And then locations, you can filter out the different locations you're looking for. So say we're just concerned with the Brooklyn store, and we just want to see today's sales. And then you can even filter out by salesperson to see how well someone's doing, or you can leave it on all. And then click OK, and this will run the report. And give me 1 second. I'm going to rerun it. And here's what our sales transaction detail report will look like. So we have the transaction date and time, the transaction ID number, this is our receipt number, the store location that the item was purchased from, the salesperson who sold the item, the customer information. If there was no customer account created, it'll simply say no customer, or you'll have the customer information, the product that was sold to the customer, the quantity, as well as your unit price, unit cost, any discounts given. GP stands for gross profit, so this is going to be the difference between your cost and sale price. Now notice we do have totals down below for this date range. And then even more further details as far as the tax that was charged on the transaction for that item, the tender type, whether it was cash or credit, the actual amount collected, any kind of return reason. Now, if you want to export this report to an Excel file, you could do that. You click Report Options on the top right, and then Export, and then you simply go to Excel or CSV. You can also print this report if you click Print here, and you can even subscribe to it so you can have it emailed to you daily, weekly, or monthly. And this is just one of the many reports you can run regarding sales. This is the key report that we like to go over with our clients. We have sales by product, sales by location, sales by employee. There are a lot of reports you can run and filter out exactly what you're looking for. But the sales transaction detail report will give you pretty much all the details you would need on a sale for accounting purposes. So that concludes the sales webinar.